Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, we're going to be taking a tour around the layout now that it is reassembled. Really excited to have everything mostly back together now after taking stuff out to the train show. And you will notice as we go around the room, there's a few things that are in new locations, a few different ideas that I'm exploring with the layout of certain buildings and certain pieces of track. So lots to cover. Let's get started by taking a look at the train yard. I continue to be really happy with how the train yard is coming together. A great place for storing and displaying trains that aren't actively moving around the layout. And you'll notice that I've created a few more track options in the yard this time around. So if we come down through here, you'll see the monster double crossover still in its same spot. Really love the access that gives us and the ability to traverse both mainline tracks here as well as the two main lines that run down through the rail yard. What you will notice though is that down at the end here, we've got an extra switch ladder that's going into the siding area for the yard. That switch area there used to be located over on that side of the layout there. But what I really wanted to do with when I was getting things set back up again is to have more train lines that were accessing into the shed area of the yard. And that extra set of switches there lets us connect into the previous switch yard ladder that was there that goes all the way now up to basically right beside the train shed and right up to the train shed door. So the result of that is we've got four tracks there that are four sidings that are accessible and usable by trains. And all of those have access out to the main yard and the rest of the layout via the switches down here. So really happy with how that's come together. I don't think we lose too much in terms of layout space as a result of that change, but we gain a lot of usable track space and a lot of usable track space, but then it makes sure that everything maintains access to the layout. So we can run everything from there still out to the yard and the main line, which was important to me. Now, carrying on down past the switches there, you'll notice we've got the telegraph tower integrated into that part of the yard there. We've got the water tower fixed up and placed in there as well. And then we have the oil section of the layout there. Going to be updating those tanks soon. I've got the white pieces to update and get rid of the dark grays there. Really want to kind of finish off that section of the yard slash industry area there and bring that up to a more finished and polished level. But really happy to have those four structures still fitting in on that part of the yard before we head down into the agricultural section there with the grain elevator and the support building. Now flipping over to the interior part of the layout so you can see the yard from the other side. One thing you will notice is that with the last train show, we built a whole bunch more trees. So you'll see trees located in a few different spots around the layout that we didn't have them before. Really like how they work on this corner here, kind of separating the main line from the yard area a bit there. And then we carry on down through the yard. You can see here, we're not even yet fully utilizing this siding over here on the left-hand side of the train shed. So more real estate to use there. And I'm still tempted to put or extend the track there down the first half of the right-hand side of the shed before it gets to where the lights are there. So we'll see. There's different opportunities, things that we could do there, but extending that like another half base plate to a base plate might be a nice change just to give us a little extra room on this particular siding. But, you know, overall, really happy with what we're able to fit in there currently with that new arrangement. And then as we come down here, you can see some more trees located in there before we get into the various structures. Telegraph tower, water tower, and the oil tanks and buildings here, with more trees out in front and then more trees around that corner over there heading into the yard access and the siding that we have over there. Now, as we come past the end of the yard here and make the turn towards the Eiffel Tower, one thing to notice as we're taking our trip around the layout here is that we have eliminated all of the black railway ties that we had on track pieces around the layout. Everything is now using our Trix Bricks railway ties. Love the print on these. I think it looks really nice. And with that, I've completely run through all the 1x4s and 1x1s that we have of this particular print here. So I need to get some more, but you'll notice that it's much more sort of uniformly applied throughout the layout now. This corner before had 1x4s, but not 1x1s through the entire corner. But you'll notice now that everything has been updated and is using the 1x1s as well as the 1x4s. So really happy with that. I think it makes a difference, looks really cool around the entire layout, but especially through these corners that now have the tiles placed consistently throughout. While all the track is placed over on this corner of the layout, for the most part, this is still very much a work in progress. There's a few buildings here that I need to fix up, and there is a couple of extra pieces of track that I need to get ballasted and placed in front of the warehouse there. But the big change at the moment at this end of the layout is that warehouse over there. You'll notice the freight house is back here with these two track lines in front of it. Really nice location. Love the fact that we've got this switch access here to get out onto the main line. But, you know, like we discussed, I want to go through and shift the freight warehouse over a little bit so I can finish that last bit of platform building. We need to update our signal bridge here. We're going to, in addition to just fixing it up from some of the travel damage that it sustained, I want to change out how that section is built there to make it a little more robust and to make it a little easier to take the signal bridge apart when we're taking it out to shows. So some work ahead in the next few days over that section there as we get the signal bridge fixed up and placed again into the layout. The Eiffel Tower has slid down a little bit. I need to finish up my work on that because we should be getting our lighting kit for that soon. Really excited about that lighting kit. I think it's going to be an amazing addition to what will already be an amazing structure in our city. But the big change over here is the placement of the warehouse on this end of the layout, which will attach into the sidings here. It's actually impressive. I built a few extra track modules, mills modules, before going to the train show for use in various parts of the layout there. And then when I came back, I integrated those additional Mills modules as well as all the ones that we took from the layout. And we added so much extra track basically to the yard area there that we've come up short here in front of the warehouse. So I've got the straight track pieces. I've got the Trix bricks and some Lego straight track that I can use for this module. I just need to get a few more pieces for the ballasting underneath, and then we can finish off getting the warehouse connected to this end of the track layout. As I've discussed before, I'm going to make some fairly serious modifications to the warehouse. Love the way it looks. I just need to make it a little more robust for taking in and out of the Lego room to train shows. And as part of that then, I want to finish off the interior, get some lighting integrated here, work on some scenery outside the warehouse, and make some modifications to the design so that we can actually have the warehouse doors there close. Currently, with the way that I've done the track so that it integrates properly with the track around our layout, it prevents the doorway from closing. And, I'd really like to sort of finish that off and polish it up and have the doors, work both in an open and closed sense, or posing. So really looking forward to updating this module because I think this is just an awesome structure. I really like what Japaz has done with the model, and it's just a matter of me finishing off some of the last parts that were from the instructions and then working through the updates that I want to make to it to just make it more robust for travel, and then to, like I said, add in lighting and to maybe build out a few more scenes inside so that as we get trains stored in here or various, minifigures and accessories, etc., that the lighting that we have inside the warehouse really showcases that. And, I also want to work some lighting out in front of this to showcase trains that are out in front of the warehouse as well. I guess ultimately, I'm going to be taking a lot of the ideas that I've worked into the engine shed Mills module over there into the warehouse here. And I think that it should look pretty cool when it's done. So I'm excited about that. Now, you can continue to see over here all of the railway ties and how that's been consistently worked throughout the entire layout. Such a time-consuming exercise to be placing 1x1s and 1x4s around the different track modules, but that work really pays off. Really happy with how it looks. Obviously, the T-junction at this end of the layout still needs a number of those railway tie parts. So when we get our next order of those in, this will be one of the first spots that I come to for updating and finishing things off there. But, really happy, like I said, to not have the black railway ties anymore. I think that these just look amazing, really. Such a great print on there, and it adds a lot to the look of the track. Now, looking at this part of the layout here, this is where the vinegar factory is going to live, at least initially. So these are the Mills modules for the vinegar factory. I've got all the parts in place now for assembling the building. So that'll be something that we work on soon. But I'm going to place this here. There is some track that goes down the middle of the vinegar factory. I'm going to move the buildings around a little bit so that the track is placed in such a way that it will easily integrate with our track in the layout or at shows, but it will not integrate at the moment with based on how close it is to the rail yard main line here, I don't think we'll be able to get a curved piece of track into that straight section that the vinegar factory has, just because everything's so tightly packed in here. But the track will be there for use. I'll have it positioned correctly so that, we can integrate it with track at shows, or, if we move the modules around here to give enough space at some point for the track to, enter properly from the rail yard or the main line, wherever, into that module. But I think that'll be a great place for it to live in the short term. And there's a lot of really cool elements on the factory itself and with some of the landscaping around it. So looking forward to getting that module finished off and having it live there. I think it'll be a great addition to this end of the rail yard. The grain elevator and support building are looking great. They traveled quite well, came back to the Lego room in great condition. There are still a number of changes that I want to make to both of these structures. So definitely you can expect some more work on that ahead, and we'll talk about that in more detail in upcoming videos. But the changes that we've been making there have been working out really well, so quite happy with how that's coming together. You'll notice we have the up house in between the track there on the T-junction. Really liked how that worked at the train show. I've got the clear panels that go underneath it to raise it up into the air. I am going to be making some modifications to it though before it gets put back up into the air, just to enclose off the back side of the structure. Really, it's kind of like half a house at the moment, so you can access the back of the building, but I'd like to have that enclosed. So expect some more updates on that in the near future. But once the building is fully enclosed, then we will raise it up in the air, so it'll be like it's flying around the layout, which I think is pretty cool. A nice touch. One other thing to mention over here, the wind turbines, really want to get these going again soon. So expect some more discussion around these. I'd like to, first off, just make sure they're running correctly over there. And then I want to come up with some relatively simple and straightforward landscaping that I can put around the base of them, just to sort of tidy up the way the bottom of the structure looks. But I really want to have these sort of fully integrated into the layout again here, and have them set up in such a way that I can easily take them in and out to train shows in the future. But expect to see more on this. These will be running soon. I always think it looks amazing when you've got not only the trains moving around the layout, but a lot of other dynamic structures, buildings, etc. around the layout. So, these are going to be a big part of that for us. When it comes to the city part of the layout, not much has changed recently. Still a number of projects that I want to get going on in the near future. You have seen, there's a video up on the channel showing the integration of the rail signal lights into the main line over there. Super happy with how that's working. But, definitely on my radar to get back to some of the buildings over here, some of the roadways. And I would like to do another pass at the, sort of reviewing the current state of lighting in the layout. We've done a lot of work to add lights to the grain elevator, the train shed, some other spots in the rail yard. We've got the signal lights over by the city. I think we're getting a pretty nice mix of lighting around the entire layout. So probably do another sort of review of the lighting state of the layout here in the Lego room, and make a big push here as we're finishing some of these buildings off to get some more lighting integrated over on the city side. But continue to be really happy with the way the city is coming together. It's just slow at the moment as we work on the rail yard and as we work on some of the other display elements around the room. You'll notice we've got our space area starting to develop over there. We've talked quite a bit about the rail line that's going to go up along the ceiling there, making some good progress there. So that should be starting to have some track up there really soon. And then we've also got a number of rail elements that are getting set up underneath the table here. Our bridges are underneath this section right here. We've got our smaller T-junction, which is going to be living under that part of the layout there. So lots of stuff going in around the entire room and the entire layout, but really happy that we've now got things basically back to the way they were before the train show. Still a few structures that need to get fixed up, but it's a great milestone having things reassembled, and a lot of great projects coming over the next few days and the next several weeks as we continue to build things out around the layout. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.